you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
It's a latter-day prophet, baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
Well, greetings. Hello, all across this great land of ours and around the world. It's that time. It's time, of course, for the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. And I am your host, John Matthews, along with my co-host, Joe Hakos. And hey, I don't know about you, but the poetic justice of yesterday being the 72nd anniversary of D-Day, and today being the last primary throughout the United States of America, I think there's a little bit of poetic justice there. What about you, Joe?
Well, it'd have been better if it was Hiroshima and we just nuked the hell out of those folks.
I'm just thinking that's what we need. We're facing our own D-Day right now.
Yes, we've tried to take back, from the Nazi fascists of North America.
Yeah. The enemy from within. The enemy from within, and it gives a whole new meaning to the mantra that has been carried on for at least the last 4 or 5 election cycles, and that is electing or choosing the lesser of two evils. It doesn't get much worse than this. It just doesn't. Oh, maybe if Lindsey Graham had won the nomination, maybe it would be worse. But,
that would have been a surreal kind of world then. I don't know what kind of world would have been in. I think that kind of world, we'd have had bunny rabbits running the roosts.
Well,
serious, like, wow.
We'd be adding cell phone launchers at batting cages. That's what we'd be doing.
Yeah, celery sticks at every street corner.
Yeah. And, of course, wine dispensers in every school hall. Because that's what I think is his problem. I think him and Boehner both. I think it's just soaking up too much of the red wine, Well,
I think they've been neutered.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's their problem.
Yeah.
They can have all the testosterone pills in the world and still not have enough testosterone to actually count as men. Yeah,
maybe they should get some of that new drug. I was just somebody just sent me a picture today. A new drug that's out there called Growaset. And I won't go into the details of that. You can figure it out if you just take a moment and say that to yourself 3 times quietly, and you'll know exactly what I'm saying. Anyway, having said that, today is the last primaries. I think there's 6 of them, 5 or 6 of them out there today. California, of course, being the big one. And, of course, the media just ready to just jump out there and anoint Hillary Clinton as the presumptive Democratic nominee. I think AP, Associated Press, came out with that. You would have expected that to come from MSNBC. But I don't know that we're really talking anything different one way or the other.
Yeah, it won't have an effect on the primaries whatsoever. I mean, we're going to come out the day before, and we're going to make sure that Hillary's wins no matter what happens in the actual elections today.
Yeah, and we have something we're going to play for you later. Joe has picked up a clip here because the general idea, the theme of the Hillary Clinton election campaign is going to be very simple.
Yeah.
If you don't vote for her, you're a sexist. Okay, that's going to be the mantra, no matter what it is or who it is. I imagine if even women don't vote for Hillary Clinton, you're going to be sexist.
Yep.
So that's going to be the mantra there. Now, if you're the other side of it will be, of course, if you vote for Donald Trump, you're a racist.
Racist.
So it's going to be one or the other. You're going to have your choice between being called a sexist or a racist. And actually, I'm at the point right now where you could probably call me either one and it would slide off my back like water off a duck.
Yeah, I'm not paying any attention to these people anymore. Anyway, it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I learned, if I learned anything in this during this election cycle, I have learned that nobody knows what a liberal is. Very few know what a conservative is. So anything else you want to brand me in between just demonstrates to me you don't know squat about anything.
Might as well call me a Vulcan.
You know, it just I'm just at that place where it's like I hear people throw words around, and I mean, my instinct now is just to say, define that for me. Somebody, yeah, I'm a conservative. Great. Tell me what that is. Tell me what that looks like. Give me a definition. Tell me what a conservative believes. Oh, you know, I'm a liberal. Okay, tell me what that means. You know, I'm pro marriage, gay marriage. Tell me what that means. You know, I'm pro-abortion. I'm anti-abortion. Tell me what that means. Because that needs to be the narrative that's out there right now. The narrative needs to be, tell me what it means, because nobody seems to know anymore.
Well, the White House does. That's why they're having Hollywood go out there and promote it for them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, you know, we're going to have you want to know what immigration policies we have? Go ask some Hollywood star.
Yeah. And you want to know what humanity issues are? Ask all the celebrities out there that want to have the parents of the child that fell into the gorilla cage prosecuted and strung up. Because thank goodness that the powers that be in Cincinnati said, no, we're not charging these people anything. Yeah, nobody. You know, today, if I was the mayor of a major metropolitan, I would avoid anything that put me in the media spotlight to the nth degree. I mean, it would be, I would just go out of my way. You know, and what I would do is, if something happened, you know, some scandal comes up, let's say in the police department or something like that, I would bring that out, but I would squash it so bad. I would be like all over whoever was involved in it. Okay, you guys are going to be sacrificial lambs. We're not going to deal with this. We're not going to be on the news for the next 3 weeks. We're not going to have Al Sharpton down here and all these other people. We're going to squash this right now. Okay, I'm gonna go into the assumption that the smoking gun means somebody pulled the trigger and boom, bada bing, bada boom, we're going to take care of it. And that's it. And the only thing people are going to have to be able to say about me is, oh, it took care of it. You know, that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I'm just rambling right now because I am, as I was telling Joe before the show, having a discussion with my wife, who is pretty much, you know, when it comes to politics, she's not really politically savvy to a great degree. But she is extremely flexible when it comes to other people's views and stuff. She's kind of like, she always has this little thing she says to me. She'll say things like, look at my hand. I have 5 fingers on my hand, and none of them look the same. And that's how people are. You know, that's how she illustrates things to me when she's talking philosophy. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. So you have to be flexible. That's the word she uses. You have to be flexible. Because each one of those fingers is important, you know, in regard to the hand working, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be Gumby. Sorry.
Yeah, well, you know, I tell her, well, you know, I'm kind of like the kind of guy I don't like the look of that finger, cut it off. You know, but that's just the difference between us. But even she is at this place now. She says, oh, man, I don't want to hear any more of this stuff. It's so irrelevant and so much garbage. Why are people still talking about this stuff? Welcome to America.
Yeah, and it hasn't even started yet.
Yeah. Wait till after this weekend, or wait till the weekend talk shows get hit when the people start hitting the circuit after the primaries today. Especially if Bernie Sanders happens to either win California or just come in just under the wire. You know, either way, the way it's looking right now, the polls are saying he's going to take half of the half of the delegates out here in California. Whether he wins or loses, he's got half of them right now. That's a significant. That is some significant leverage come convention time in July, and he's going to demand some of his democratic socialistic ideologies be, you know, submitted and placed on the the platform. You know, and that is going. I don't know what that's going to do in terms of the eruptions that are going to take place should the Democrat National Convention resist, or should they concede. Either way, it's going to be something to watch. Anyway, we got to go to our first break. When we come back, we will get into today's festivities. We're not even really sure right now where we're going to start. Well, we may have already. But anyway, stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, from 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
We are back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. And I just sitting here just kind of surfing the internet here during the break, ran across, I think, the perfect analogy to sum up or to best describes what we're seeing today all across the political spectrum. And that is, when we have such important social issues, things like abortion and the homosexual issue, homosexual marriage, the transgender bathroom bills, and all the other crap that's out there being circulated as we now refer to as hokey doke. And we sit there and we think about, let's put some real substance behind these issues. Where better to go than Dolly Parton to get?
Yeah, I was going to say, you know who I would go to first thing. The first thing comes to my mind is Dolly Parton.
Yeah, Dolly Parton. I mean, who better to go to than a woman who dresses and acts like somebody who's 17 years old, and actually, I guess, in the right lighting, would be mistaken for somebody that was a transgender. Because of the makeup and the hair and all the other stuff, right? And so anyway, I guess she was asked on a radio show about the transgender bill out there in, was it South Carolina? North Carolina. I'm sorry, North Carolina. I keep getting my Carolinas mixed up, but, 6 of one, half a dozen other. And she says, just a quick comment here. She says, I think everybody should be treated with respect. I don't judge people, and I try not to get too caught up in the controversy of things. I hope that everybody gets a chance to be who and what they are. So, of course, she's being lauded as the new poster child and hero of the transgender movement. But I thought the closing comment, or the comment right after that, was really, I think, more adequately describes how celebrities think. She says, if I got to pee, I'm going to pee wherever I have to pee. I'm thinking, okay, you might as well join the Occupy Wall Street movement then, right?
Yeah, well, you know what? She, like I said before, she's, if she thinks she's a potted plant that day, then she can go right in the front yard and let her loose.
Let her loose. But I thought it was appropriate because this woman has probably consumed 10% of all the makeup ever made in America. And, and I often wonder, I wonder about this kind of stuff because I'm a weird guy. I wonder what she looks like without that wig.
I don't know, but I think it's like an occupational hazard.
Well, I don't know. I think when you're 75 years old and you're still trying to dress like a street whore, that says something about who you are. So, anyhow, I just threw that out there just for jocularity purposes. Now, let's see, where do we want to go to? Oh, let's get back to this Trump thing for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, because I think there is one serious aspect to this that I do want to take a moment to discuss. I obviously, first off, I would say I think Trump is beginning to really compete with Joe Biden for the job of idiot, foot and mouth disease idiot. I mean, everything that I don't know what it is about this guy. Is it so important for him to be center stage that he even makes a fool of himself to do so? To attack a judge because the guy's Mexican. And
well, he's of Mexican heritage.
Okay, Mexican heritage. Of course, the issue itself of Trump University, he has played right into the hands of the Democrats.
Yes.
Okay, just even bringing it up. Let the thing die, for crying out loud. Nobody cares about Trump University that's voting for you. Okay? And you're not going to convince anybody that's voting for Hillary Clinton that Trump University really means anything either. So it's kind of a redundant, stupid thing to even be talking about just because you think your ego's taking a shot here or whatever. So that the stupidity of it is notable, but it is Trump. So we give that, okay? You got to give that away, all right? Now, what I am concerned about is two things. One, how the media uses the very people that everybody otherwise on a daily basis makes fun of. People like Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell, the establishment types.
Yeah.
The media goes to them to get opinions about what they think about what Donald Trump has said, as if you're going to get anything other than what you get. Okay, now, obviously that is to try to reinforce the narrative from the left that, even the Republicans don't like Donald Trump. So if the Republicans don't like Donald Trump, you need to vote for Hillary Clinton. Okay? All right. That's fair game. That's fair game. That's politics. But I think it is a legitimate question as to whether or not what is taking place with Trump is going to hurt the Senate races. What do you think, Joe?
It's unnecessary. I mean, when you had Gingrich come out and said it was one of the worst things Trump has done, it was one of the worst things Trump has done because exactly what you said. It's unnecessary. It's going to hurt other Republicans. And again, It's unnecessary. It's a self-inflicted wound. Why? Because, like you said, your poor little ego. Let your lawyers handle it, Donnie. For crying out loud, you got enough money. Let them take care of it. Why don't you continue to do this? Attack Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, if
every day, nothing should come out of your mouth except Hillary Clinton sucks.
Right, and if you're going to talk about legalities, and if you're going to talk about institutions that are corrupt and haven't done what they're supposed to do, you should focus your energy on the Clinton Foundation, for crying out loud. I mean, that is prime territory right there. If you just took that narrative out there with as much vigor and vinegar and everything else that you're taking out about defending yourself about something that nobody gives a rat's patoot about, I mean, this could only be ego. But I think it is, and could very well hurt some of these Senate races that are close. There are some Senate races that are close. And these people are trying to distance themselves. I don't know if it'll work or won't. But here's my point. Should that happen, what Donald Trump will do is he will definitely make it even more difficult to be president should the Republicans lose a Senate majority. Now he's going to be back in the same position where he's going to be there trying to bully everybody from the pulpit, and the Democrats don't back down. That's one thing about liberals. They don't back down, and you can't scare them, and you can't bully them. They do not move because their ideology is their life breath. The Republicans will bend and go one way or the other to preserve themselves. Democrats they're true believers. They're ideologues. It's like, you're not gonna get me to change my views. You're not gonna bully me. You're just gonna empower me just to stand more firm. Now, so we finally get our quote unquote Republican president in there, and now we're back where we have a Democrat-driven majority in the Senate. How much stuff do you think is going to happen? How many walls do you think are going to get built? How many trade agreements are going to get passed? All of a sudden Donald Trump is going to be standing up there doing what? Just shooting his mouth off like Barack Obama. Or maybe resorting to using executive orders, something that he says nobody should be doing. Okay, so what do you gain by this, Donald? What do you gain outside of being able to maybe win an argument? Who the hell cares? It's just it's ludicrous, and it's stupid. It's suicidal. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. This is suicidal. So you win the presidency, and you've got nobody to help you do all the things that you want to do. Do you think, Donald Trump, that you're going to stand up there and say, okay, starting tomorrow, we're going to build the wall, and it's going to happen?
But I'm Donald Trump, and I can make deals, and I can do this, and I can do that, and it's like I'm the greatest, and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to make America great again. And like I said before on this show, it's like, look, it's not that America is not great. America's great. It's my government that I'm completely ashamed of.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what it is with me. It's my fellow citizens. Too many of my fellow citizens that I'm ashamed of. And the fact that you called yourself an American and be so totally ignorant as to what's going on in the government you say you love. That's my pet peeve. And that's a hard thing to say, because some of my fellow Americans are sitting in our audience right now listening to us, and some of them probably think that I'm full of prunes. But the point being is that we have brought this upon ourselves. I've said this time and time again. I recite it as many times as I need to. Donald Trump is not the problem. Hillary Clinton is not the problem. Barack Obama is not the problem. Bernie Sanders is not the problem. No, we are. We are the ones that have put these people in places of authority and granted them power to do what they want to do out of our eyesight, out of our oversight, and we have not held any of them accountable to the degree that we are supposed to as the people that put them in power. So that's my pet peeve. I understand where you're coming from, Joe, but for me, it's our fellow Americans. We the people. We the people is the problem.
Well, if you think about it, the government is from the people, so it is exactly that. That's what I'm ashamed of.
Yeah. We have created.
Really think about it. I'm ashamed of our government. Well, then by extension, it is the people.
Yeah.
Just like you just said. So it's one and the same.
Yeah, we have nobody to complain about. Nobody to bitch about this rather than ourselves. If we don't like what's going on, I understand the anger. I'm just as angry as the next guy. I understand the need for change and the desire to have things changed, but we cannot continue to change in the right direction. We cannot get this thing turned around and headed in the right direction if the best we can come up with is a Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry, guys. I don't care which one of these people win. We're not going to win. It isn't going to happen. Guarantee it. Take it to the bank. All right? Anyway, excuse me. Along with that, the California primary out today. What do you think? What do you think, Joe? Should Bernie Sanders score high? I'm not saying win, but if he's going to win some delegates out here, like I said, the projection is about half of them. And that's got to give him some leverage and clout. Now, the people out there are already screaming that Bernie should have already backed out. He should have gone back to the old fart home. And you had a clip you wanted to play.
Yeah, this is going to be this is happening now with Bernie, but it's going to happen with everybody else that comes along. And yeah, this is definitely what's going to happen. And this is pretty amazing, actually. I still don't know how to take this, but let me get it in before we get too close, because it's almost a minute long. So this is a little interaction between Bernie Sanders and somebody asking him a question.
You say to women,
excuse me,
in the race.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Question.
Well, your other hands are up as well. Did Jeffrey, do you have a question?
What do you say to women who say that you staying in the race? What do you say to women who say that you staying in the race is sexist because it's getting in the way of what could be the first female president?
Is that a serious question?
Yes, it is a serious question.
That any woman who is running for president, anyone who opposes your question implies that any woman, any woman who is running for president is by definition the best candidate. So any woman who runs should also have to say that it is sexist so if Hillary Clinton runs for president, is your point that it is sexist for any man to oppose her?
No, my point is that if she has more delegates than you,
well, that's another point. Then that is not. Well, I don't think it is sexist.
So if you don't like Hillary Clinton, or you run against Hillary Clinton, you're trying to prevent the first woman president ever in the United States, just like if you ran against Barack Obama. You're trying to stop the first black president of the United States. Yeah. You're a racist last time, and you're a sexist this time.
That's right. And that's going to be one or the other. You're either going to be a sexist or you're going to be a racist if you do not support and vote Hillary Clinton, because it's time for a woman president. Now, let's just go back. 2008, it's time for a black president. Or, as I like to say, it's time for our first half-white president. All right, now, and what did that get us? What did it get us?
That's the funny part is if we can. Some people, I was listening, and some people actually said, "You know what? I thought it was great. We're going to have a black man in the president, and our country's going to finally get over this stuff, and we're going to become more together in this, and everything's going to be better." And just the exact opposite has happened.
Right.
The exact opposite. We've gone back 50, 60 years in race relations because of this man. Right, and let's put it in proper context. Let's say that Hillary Clinton had actually won the 2008 election, and we're looking at an election cycle in which she was finishing out her last term. We still wouldn't be any better off. Nope. My point being is, it's not the gender and it's not the race or the color. It is the culture, the ideological culture that we're talking about here, and that has no preference in terms of color, culture, creed, theology, or anything else. Liberal theology is like a non-healable terminal disease. Okay, that's just going to eat and devour everything in its path, and it doesn't care what your color or what gender you are, or what gender you think you are, or anything else. It's just going to consume you because that's what it does. That's what liberalism does. Yeah. Well, let's go for a break. Before I got to get a drink to kind of wash some of this. Okay, guys, it's time for
our next set of commercials. Boy, I know that excites you greatly. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
State Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest. Who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923 and like them on Facebook and you'll be included in contest and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame. He owed money to the IRS and they finally cut up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get the Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world. Then bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the tax relief line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474.
All right, hey, we are back. We are back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, and probably by divine design. I love that phrase. I just love that phrase. Divine design. You're listening to us, not a mistake, but a purpose behind everything that we do and say. And we're glad to have you with us today. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with my co-host, Joe Hakos. And, we were kind of talking on the light side here, the first half hour of the show here. And I think we probably should get a little bit more into some stuff that's a little bit more serious, at least in terms of context and possible outcome kind of thing. We were talking yesterday about the deposition of Cheryl Mills in regard to the Hillary email scandal, okay? And so I'm thinking, maybe we should touch on that a little bit more, Joe. What do you think?
Well, we can. I don't know where you want to start with it. I mean, basically, what we tried to point out yesterday was just how much the foot dragging was going on with these people. I mean, who is Brian Pagliano? I don't know. He was somebody at the State Department. I object.
Yeah, I think maybe we have just kind of exhausted that at this point. Do you think?
What I'd rather have is I'd rather be able to find the actual videotape testimony. This was videotaped. And all we're getting is the transcript, and it's just like, my goodness, how much more can you object about it? It's like, I'm not aware of Mr. Pagliano having an email on the ClintonEmail.com system.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for pointing. Tell us about your career at the State Department.
Yeah, well, this is in the same context of our president, who told us at the beginning of his administration, his time in office, his tenure, I guess is the word, about how transparent he was going to be.
Yeah, right.
Okay, this falls in the same line. This is how we're going to cooperate. We're going to do it. We want to cooperate. In fact, we want to cooperate because we need to cooperate to get this off the slate, so that everybody can move on, so that we can get back to the business of fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
Yeah. Okay, but the thing is these people are all being represented by the same attorneys, so they're all together outside the depositions, and they're getting their stories all synced up. So how much of the truth are you actually getting here?
Yeah, and I want to see, this is something to think about in that regard. I'm wondering, because I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here, is there any kind of law or rules against an attorney representing separate clients colluding with these clients to build a common defense for all the clients? Yeah, I don't know if that's legal or not. I don't know if that's something. I mean, maybe they're allowed to do that. I mean, if it was like a class action lawsuit. Let's say somebody brings a class action lawsuit, and there's particular players within that lawsuit. I imagine that's okay. I'm wondering though if there's any ethical boundaries being crossed here when we think about the idea that you've got the same attorneys representing 3 to 4, maybe even 5 of the people that are being looked at as possible accomplices in Hillary's email cover-up. Okay?
Well, she said everybody's an accomplice because everybody knew it was happening.
Right. I'm just wondering. I don't know. It would be something to be interesting to find out if there's some kind of anti-collusion laws or rules when it comes to this kind of thing.
I don't know. Maybe we should get to the La Raza folks, the La Raza attorney people out there in California that Trump's all up in arms about with this guy, this judge that he's all freaked out about. And it's the same. This Kimberly Guilfoyle on Fox was a member of that organization. It's not the La Raza that you see out there protesting with their bandanas on their face and everything. It's just this was another lawyers group that allowed to allow Hispanic American attorneys to get together and practice law in California.
I think it was actually called the La Raza Lawyers Group or something like that. Some generic term here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that meant that what they were doing was they were a group of lawyers that maybe represent pro bono, something like maybe the Defense Alliance.
Well, maybe they were supposed to be, they were trying to hide their true intent, like our friends over at the Frankfurt School. We're going to call us the Marcus Institute. No, let's not do that. Let's call it the Institute for Social Reform or whatever it was. I think that I had in that piece the other day. It certainly wasn't. It was certainly a sweet and innocent sounding name. Why they would go with La Raza, knowing that deliberately, I would say that it would had a connotation that they were part of this other group.
Yeah, you would think that somebody would have thought that through, because it's not like La Raza is some secret organization that nobody knows about. Almost anybody in political circles knows about them. Certainly leftists like Barack Obama, who worked with La Raza when he was a pro bono attorney in Chicago. It was one of the first groups he tied. There was another group he tied. The group he actually started with was called UNO. And that had ties to La Raza in Chicago. And so it's not like progressives don't know what La Raza is and what it represents and what the meaning is behind it. So if we're sitting here thinking, let's form a group of attorneys, one of the things I'm going to look at eventually sometime this week is what this lawyers group actually did. There's got to be a mission statement out there somewhere that explains what they're about and what they're up to and what they desire to do and everything else. That might at least put a little substance behind everything.
Yeah, but like we said earlier in the show, if Trump's smart, he just lets this thing drop. Hey, but I was looking through the transcript, right, of this deposition, and it just remember I was talking about it. Clinton said everybody knew this was going on. Here, listen to this. This is the question from the people trying to get the information. Okay, but I guess my question is different. My question is whether you or anybody within the Secretary's office informed the Executive Secretariat when they were doing their searches to respond to the FOIA request implicating Secretary's emails. And the answer, I don't recall that. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. No, that the Secretary's account was not on the government emails. No, I don't recall having a conversation about her account not being on the state.gov system. I would also be surprised if they were unaware that it was not in the state.gov system. The secretary emailed with, as you indicated, with a number of faults in the State Department, and her immediate staff was aware of her emailing with folks in the department because she was typically emailed by people on her state accounts. So these people knew exactly what Hillary Clinton was doing.
Yeah. Well, and to me,
they understood it was against their rules.
The most remarkable part of this whole deposition, when we're talking about Cheryl Mills, the most remarkable part to me is the lack of memory. I'm thinking, if I had somebody working for me that had such a lack of memory about all the things that she'd been doing under my employ, I'd really question whether this person is somebody I'd want to have employed.
Yeah, how competent was it? Even in that answer I just gave, she starts off, I don't recall. Then the next answer she gets, I'm not aware.
Yeah.
And then let me go to the next one. So I don't know how to answer.
Or maybe, I like the ones the time she referred to, she said, I don't recollect anything. Maybe you can help me.
Yeah, exactly. You want me to answer the question for you? I'm asking the questions here, lady.
Yeah, that's lawyer talk. That's lawyer talk. Is I don't really want to answer unless you're going to be able to bring something to my attention that already condemns me.
I don't know how they would have undertaken that with her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't done Let me do this real quick. just for the heck of it. Let me do a little real quick, and let me do a search for just that phrase. I don't know.
Yeah. Just do that. Well, we got to go to a break here. As we're on break, or while we're on break, I'm going to run a quick search here and just see if I can find something in the La Raza San Diego Lawyers Group and see if we can get some kind of thing up here just to clarify that, because what I want to do, I'm kind of, in some ways, I'm actually trying to stall here, because one of the things I want to talk about today is Obama's Save My Legacy campaign tour that he's on right now.
Oh, yeah.
And the contradictions in that speech he gave in Indiana last week, I think kind of pales when compared to Hillary Clinton's denial of the Second Amendment and her claim that the IG audit actually vilifies her, actually clears her of any wrongdoing. It's just liberal speak at its best. Anyway, stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing, and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish, because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Okay, hey, we're back. And guess what, guys? I found something out here, and I'm going to speculate here that this is what we're looking for here, because one of the things that I see on the website is a link right away. The first link in the news: fighting for judicial independence, the problem with calling out judges for their race. An article written by The Atlantic. Now, what I'm seeing here, I'm looking at here right now at a website. Maybe I sent you the wrong link, I think. Yeah, I misspelled the link I sent to you, Joe. I'm sorry. It's LaRazaLawyers.net. It's a website I'm looking at right now. And I'm going to read you right on the front page. They've got a mission statement about what they're about, who they're about, and what they're about. Okay? La Raza Lawyers of California is an independent, unincorporated association of lawyers organized in 1977 to support Chicano and Latino lawyers in California and serve as a statewide network for local affiliate La Raza lawyer groups. Now, there's something there that would need to be examined a little bit closer. if they are a network for local affiliate La Raza lawyer groups.
Yeah, I see that now.
Okay, so if that's, there would be, okay, are those lawyer groups tied to La Raza, the organizing community, Anyway, it says here, they meet quarterly at various locations around the state, and they represent 16 different local organizations with over 2,000 attorneys, and they're affiliated with the Hispanic National Bar Association. Why do we need a Hispanic National Bar Association? Don't we have a National Bar Association? I mean, why does it have to be a Hispanic National Bar Association? If we put out a Caucasian National Bar Association, what do you think the rancor would be over that? What do you think the people...
I would think that somebody would get upset and probably scream at us and call us
which makes me
names
believe
in Spanish.
Yeah, which makes me believe there's probably a Black National Bar Association or a African American National Association or whatever. Justice Miguel Marquez. Okay, that's just a little blurb about some picture that they have up here. But that's what they are. They are a group of lawyers who represent and network with other lawyer groups dealing that have some kind of affiliation with La Raza, whether that be community organizing or whether just it is a network that's called La Raza. But I think this is community organizing language here. I'm going to read this again. I understand the organizing language here because I've read so much of it. It says 16 different local organizations with over 2,000 attorneys. We meet quarterly with 16. We represent 16 different local organizations with over 2,000 attorneys, and all dealing with La Raza lawyer groups. Now that sounds to me like some kind of defense league that maybe has some ties. I'm speculating. Don't quote me on this. Some kind of ties with community organizing groups. For instance, when Barack Obama represented UNO as a pro bono lawyer, okay, would he have been tied into some type of group like this? I'm not saying La Raza, but some type of group. Well, he was. He was tied in with Ralph Nader. And Ralph Nader had a group of lawyers that went out and represented various community organizations. So this sounds, they may not have had, quote unquote, direct ties with La Raza, the organizing group, in terms of participating in organizing. But I would bet you dollars to donuts from what I'm reading here, they basically offer attorney services for something that an organization wanted to do. For instance, bring a lawsuit against a school, as Obama did, because the school was being constructed. The big lawsuit was over the name of the school. They wanted to name it some Mexican name or something. And they actually ended up with a lawsuit over that. Or how about this?
Well, I'm looking at their bylaws of this group, and Article 3, the purpose and goals. The purpose and goals of this association is to promote the interests of Latino communities throughout the state and the professional interests of the membership.
All right, community. When you hear that word community, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about organizations. They're talking about organizations. Where I didn't see the bylaws there, but read that again one more time, Joe.
Their Article 3 of that's a purpose and goals. The purpose and goal of this association is to promote the interests of the Latino communities throughout the state and the professional interests of the membership.
All right. So what we're talking about here, that sounds very much like community organizing talk. These are attorneys who have a network and work hand in hand with community organizers. That's what I'm hearing here. That's what I'm seeing. So what the reason I'm saying that is that does not then negate perhaps Donald Trump's insinuations or accusations that this judge is tied in with La Raza. Now, does that give any validity or any political clout to what Donald Trump is bitching about?
Well, the thing is what this is you can't have it both ways. They said for Kagan to get in the Supreme Court, that she had to go ahead and her background, her experiences of life are what make her such a great nominee for that position.
Right.
Well, you can't go the same breath that the experiences of this individual's life also makes him a great, judge and all this stuff. You can't have it both ways, is my point.
Right,
you either disregard it all and just go with what they've done as far as their work ethic and what they have accomplished as their life's work, or you include all the other crap.
Okay, but now in terms of what Trump is doing with this is where I find the error in judgment. What he's doing is he has found something that perhaps is is true. Let's just say, okay, all right, so he's got a judge handling his Trump University lawsuits.
Yeah.
And the judge is associated with a group of La Raza.
He's not getting fair shake.
Okay, it still comes up to this one major point. Why are you bringing it to the public in the way that you're doing when it's not going to give you any political leverage at all, and just makes you look stupid?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like Ginger said, it's dumb. It's a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be there. You could let your lawyers do this. That's why you're paying them anyway.
Right. He should be treating this the same way he's treating requests for his tax returns.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm being audited right now, so I'm not going to say anything. Okay. You should be saying, well, this is all in litigation right now, so I'm not going to say anything. There you go. You fix it all. You shut everybody up. Instead, now, just because you're right and you have to prove you're right at the expense of your campaign?
Well, it's because it's the Trump University thing. So he has to look. He hasn't figured out. You don't have to answer every damn question that's put before you.
Yeah. And we don't expect you, Mr. Trump, to have succeeded in every business venture that you took. I would have loved to fail at as many businesses as you have. I'd love to be a billionaire who has gone bankrupt 4 times.
What did Edison say? Failure is just another opportunity to get it right next time, or something to that effect.
Yeah. I mean, and I understand, using the laws as they're on the books. That doesn't mean you have to like the laws. I can understand that argument. I don't like the laws, but hey, they were there and I used them for political and business expediency. Fine. Okay, great.
Yeah, just like Hillary Clinton doesn't like the Second Amendment. So try to do something about it, Hillary, but do it within the framework that we have called our government and our Constitution.
Yeah. So I think it's just shooting yourself in the foot just for the sake of doing it. I know the phrase I was thinking of. Cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, hello, you idiots.
Yeah, you've given them...
You're the smartest guy in the room. Just stop it. Quit being so damn smart.
Yeah. You've given them a hokey poke for the next 2 weeks, my friend.
More hokey doke.
So anyway, I think that's worth noting here. I think we've done maybe perhaps all we need to do in that. But I do want to, when we come back, we're getting ready to go to the top of the hour here. We got Don Dix, by the way, coming on the second hour with us. And we'll be talking some of I'm going to get, probably get some feedback. I'm sure he's been following the primary out here much closer than I have.
Well, I'm sure Don is very interested in this election since he was on a ballot.
Yeah. Well, I also want to talk a little bit about one of his candidates, one of the people he endorsed, Tom DeBeccara, I think his name is, and we voted for him. And anyways, we got to go to our top of the hour break here, and time for the Edwards Notebook, and then we'll be back after we pay some bills, and we'll continue. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
Should we be promoting work ethic and entrepreneurship to American children, or more Big Brother government? Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, it has been stated that what is taught to one generation dictates the direction the nation takes in the next. So when I see American children being persecuted by big nanny-goat government for doing what I and many others did across America as children, it's more than a bit disconcerting. One of the joys of childhood has always been to strike out on one's own and set up a little lemonade stand. The rewards for operating such a business, including learning responsibility, how to interact with customers, and earn a little money. and learn general entrepreneurship, etc. All good stuff. So now big nanny goat government in states like Louisiana have decided to be a killjoy and ticket young lemonade stand operators for not having a license. So instead of allowing American children to learn and benefit from positive free market activities and lessons, big government is on the muscle teaching children that it's okay for big government to bully people, ruin business activity, and so on, and that you too can grow up to be a big government pain in the backside. I'm Ron Edwards.
Blowing away the myths and revealing the truth. You can continue to blow away the myths with Ron Edwards on Facebook, Twitter, and theronedwards.com.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Akos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
All right, hey, we're back. Hour 2 right here at the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives, and I'm your host, John Matthews, man, prophet of the airways, along with Joe Hakos. Joe, you can't handle the truth, Hakos. And we were talking before the hour. We got, like I said, we got Don Dix coming up here in just a few minutes here. But before the top of the hour, we were talking about this La Raza situation here. It's being out there. See, I was listening to an interview last night. It was an exchange that was taking place between Megyn Kelly and Ben Carson. And Megyn Kelly was doing her best once again to try to just really, put it to Donald Trump and about the racist side of this, or the insinuations. I guess I'm just not one of those people that just takes everything verbatim when I hear things coming out of Donald Trump's mouth, that's what he really means.
Yeah.
He has said enough stupid stuff during the course of his election. You think that this guy, unlike Barack Obama, he spends most of his time talking without a teleprompter. And sometimes you just let things come out the way they come out. Like the other day, calling out to that guy at when, there's my African American. I thought, man, what a dumb thing to say. A dumb way of saying it anyway.
Joe Biden can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When Joe Biden does, everybody chuckles. Oh, yeah, Uncle Joe. Donald Trump does it, and it's just indicative of just what a xenophobic, racist, homophobe this guy is.
Yeah, I mean, which is, he just represents the entire conservative Republican. Every white guy in America is like that now.
Yeah. So this exchange that was taking place between Ben Carson and Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly kept trying to drive home this point, trying to get Carson to admit that Trump has some racist overtones when he talks. And Carson really wasn't having too much to do with it. He's just saying, no, you got to look at it's Trump. It's the way he talks. It's not that he was saying anything really that radical in terms of racial overtones. And they got into this discussion about this La Raza. And Megyn Kelly was trying to say, she was the one, that's how I heard about it. She's the one who brought up, well, he was talking about La Raza, the community organizers, and it wasn't. It was the lawyers group in San Diego.
You go.
And Carson basically just came back and said, I don't know that he really meant one thing or the other. He was talking about the fact that the guy had ties with a Mexican community and a network. And so, Carson that's what it's really about, that there could be some kind of bias in his judgments because he is associated with a lawyers group that is primarily dealing with Hispanic issues. And that was the overtone. That was what he was actually talking about.
Could it be possible? Is that just on the fringes of possibility?
Yeah, I mean, just the possibility that he was just putting it in the big picture kind of thing. Well, you were just you pointed out here during the break. You sent me this stuff here on this organization, the La Raza Judges or Lawyers Association, and why don't you go ahead and spout this off for us, Joe?
Well, I was just kind of curious. So what's the big deal? What's going on? What do we care about? Who cares if they're, you have a Latino club for judges or whatever you want to call this organization. I mean, really, what's the big deal? And so I'm looking at and then I look up at the governor's appointment system, the governor's history of Latino appointments, and Brown too. I guess that's the second term. Brown would be 20%. Schwarzenegger was 10. Gray Davis was 14. Wilson 5. Some other crazy people was 5. Basically, it was like, what's going on? And it's like, and then I wanted to pull out the other one. It's like, well, what's the big deal? And then I pull up. So I just asked the question. So what is the percentage of population of California is Latino? And come to find out that, there are more Latinos in California than there are white peoples. Non-Latino, non-white, non-Latino white peoples.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that. I live there.
14.99 million to 14.92 million.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, then it makes sense as to why. But why? My question is going to be, then why does it have to be broken down? Why can't it just be a lawyers group?
Yeah.
Why does it have to only deal with Latino issues?
Right. Well, that's the point. And I'll give you an example of that. Looking at the ballot today, the ballot that we turned in, being the primary out here, there were several appointments for Superior Court out here and some of the civil courts in our district. And I'm going to be openly honest with you right now. Anybody that had a Hispanic last name, I didn't vote for, because I'm tired of seeing what they do to the communities out here. And you can call me racist for that, but I just happen to know what they are. I live in it. I live in the middle of it. And
you're near L.A., right?
Yeah, I'm in L.A. County.
You're in L.A. County. Okay, yeah. And as I looked this up, it's L.A. County has its most accurate count yet of its homeless population, and that's what they're talking about. And these are Latinos that they're having troubles. I guess assimilating into our culture.
Believe it or not, 75% of the population in L.A. County is Hispanic.
Yeah, but these people are born here. I'm not talking about illegals here. These people are born here, and they're still having issues.
Yeah, and the issues are still liberal generated, progressive generated, that kind of stuff. And so I'm thinking, okay, now I know that there are conservative Hispanics out here.
Absolutely.
I supported one in the last election. Ben Campos out here was running against Linda Sanchez in my district. And I supported him, and I had him on the show. I campaigned for him and everything else. But I just went, okay, you know what? I'm looking at these judges, and I'm thinking, if your last name is Gomez or Martinez or anything else, you're not getting my vote, period. That's how I went. And anybody that had a Middle Eastern name, there were a few running out here. I can't even pronounce them, but I could tell by the vowels and the consonants, oh, okay, not voting for them either. It just isn't going to happen. Okay, you want a racist? Okay, I guess today that's what I am, because today I'm basing my votes. I have no idea who these people are, but I'm not going to vote for them just because they're there. And some of them were people that are already on the bench. I went for the other people. I'm one of these believers. Let's get everybody out. Everybody out. Now, let's clean the house everywhere.
I mean, you're talking about, conservative. I mean, you have, let's see, Alberto Gonzalez.
Yeah, we have Loretta Sanchez.
Well, he was U.S. He was U.S. Attorney General for what's his name, Bush.
In fact, I voted for Senator today, Tom DePacara, which is Hispanic, but he is a conservative, and he's running against Loretta Sanchez for Senate. So I voted for him. So I'm just saying, if I didn't know, if I'm looking at these smaller positions, these more local positions, we need to clean house. We got to take a break. When we come back, we should have Don Dix with us. So stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Life line right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Life line right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
All right, hey, we are back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, my co-host and partner in crime. And if you did happen to notice no moments of madness today, that's basically because I have not been able to get a good one, a new one written up, and I'm just tired of listening to the old one. All right, I got tired of listening to my own voice. Okay, so there's the story. There's the story.
Yeah, this is, we got archives of this. This is being recorded. We can take that soundbite and use it over and over again.
Well, we're trying to get Don Dix on the line here. He keeps trying to call in. For some reason, he's not. Let's see if I can get him on here.
I might want to do this the other way around, maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to bring him on right now. Let's see if that happens. You there, Don?
I am.
All right, there he is. Okay. Yeah, it was weird. Didn't hook up right. How you doing today?
Doing fine. Just apologize to you guys if you hear a little bit of road noise. I got delayed in some traffic, and so I got another couple of minutes before I stop the car. So, but other than that, it's a beautiful day in Southern California.
Yeah, we were kind of banking on you because I know in your line of work you're over there at the Answer out there in the Inland Valley. What's the latest here on I guess in terms of the Republican primary, doesn't really mean much. But I think in terms of where Sanders ends up at the end of the day, I think is going to be very interesting in terms of how it affects the Democrat convention in July. What are you hearing right now? Are you hearing anything?
Here, Don, here's just what it is. Is California going to feel the burn, Don?
Well, what's interesting about that, of course, we got the news late yesterday from the AP saying that Hillary had the additional superdelegates. They dug up a couple of people that said that they were going to vote for Hillary. I got to believe that was some last-minute campaign shenanigans. We all know that the media is in the tank for the Clintons. Mm-hmm. And so for her campaign, to coordinate with the AP to get that out seemed to smack of trying to influence turnout in the Tuesday's primary. That news, of course, came out late afternoon yesterday to us. Mm-hmm. And but no, I mean, in terms of exit polling, I actually looked at that a little bit ago, saw very little in the way of any kind of an indication as to what the turnout was going to look like. But, Bernie Sanders, you may have already talked about this, is unequivocally saying that he is in this for the duration. And so, I don't see, based on what the campaign was putting out today, regardless of the results, I do not see the Sanders campaign issuing any kind of a, we're done, we're going to turn it all over to Hillary. He's got too much riding on this. I don't know what your take is on this, but I think that, Bernie Sanders envisions himself, his lifelong work is culminating in this.
Right.
And I don't see him walking away from the movement that his involvement in this primary, in this presidential campaign, has had in creating the movement that he has been working for towards all his life. I don't think he's walking away from it. Do you?
No, I don't either. And I think the first thing he should do after this whole election is over is he should call Barack Obama and thank him for getting elected. Because had it not been for Barack Obama, 8 years of Barack Obama, and his fundamental transformation campaign and agenda, I don't think Bernie Sanders would have gotten as far as he is right now. I think, and of course, we also know that this has also shifted Hillary to the left, and that's what I'm looking at here. I don't know if Sanders is going to win today or not. I know he's given Hillary a run for his money, and he's going to walk away with some delegates. If not, I think the polls were showing at least half. So if that's the case, going into this convention in July, he's got an awful lot of leverage to bring the Democrat Party, at least expose them for the socialist organization they become. And I think, as you're saying, I think that is the end game with him. But, boy, he should be thanking Barack Obama because Barack Obama made this all possible.
Yeah, and nowhere was that, I think, more on display than the critique of his economic speech that he gave last, I think it was Friday or Thursday morning, in Indiana, when he, the truth meters were spiking all over the place on that during that meeting, and it was just red meat for conservatives, to call him out on his, his economic results for this country. You're right. I mean, I think that Bernie Sanders definitely, if this economy had been firing on all cylinders, had been approaching either the Reagan recovery or even the recovery that we saw in the beginning of the Bush campaign after the meltdown of the tech sector or the NASDAQ that just got hammered between 2000 and 2002. The Bush recovery was more robust. So, yeah, I mean, he's got a lot to be thankful for in that regard. And I think that, going forward into the convention, the big play that he's going to have, I think that the what we can look forward to is maybe told a little bit by what happened in 2012 when, the Democratic Party got out of the platform, took 3 audible votes, thanks to Antonio Villaraigosa, who was chairman of that party at the time of the convention. 3 audible votes. They clearly said, no, don't put God back in the platform. His influence in the election, in the convention, is going to be very, very far. In fact, I think it's going to be fireworks.
It's going to be contentious then, huh?
Yeah. Maybe not contentious in terms of Hillary, But in terms of what goes on with the platform, in terms of what unfolds on the floor, I mean, you see, obviously what you're seeing at Donald Trump rallies is an indication of what he started. Now, these aren't going to be the same people at the convention. You're not going to have the same element inside the convention. You may have it outside.
Yeah, not the Democratic convention. You'll probably have that at the Republican convention outside. Yes.
I don't, I think that they're going to have, Philadelphia is going to have its hands full with people outside. I don't see this being a peaceful convention for the Democrats either.
No. So it's going to be 1968 again?
Yeah. For different reasons, but possibly, yeah. I think you're going to have a lot of civil unrest outside of both of these conventions.
Well, I think what the bit that I heard, the little clip I heard that kind of gave me an indication what was going to happen here in Philadelphia was shortly after the Chicago situation we had at the Trump rally, where we had the pushing and shoving and all that, and they were actually able to shut down Donald Trump's rally that one particular night. And I remember the next day, I forget which, I think it was CNN. It might have been CNN. No, I know what it was. It was Fox News. Megyn Kelly had on Bill Ayers. Right. And Bill Ayers made the statement, we were able to shut down Donald Trump. So that's the element I think is going to show up in Philadelphia.
Right.
And that is the Bernie Sanders. That is what Obama wanted to be when he grew up. It's the Bill Ayers, the resurfacing of the Weather Underground is what I see coming up. Now, I don't know to what degree that's going to happen, but see, you hit on something, Don, that we talked about earlier, just yesterday. We mentioned this fact that what we have here is this situation with, I just lost my thought. I just went blank. You were talking earlier about the,
Bill Ayers, Weather Underground.
Senior moment there. But you had just made a mention of something that we had mentioned yesterday, and I was just trying to recapture that because this whole idea. Oh, I know what it was. At the Democratic National Convention in 2012, where the people they wanted to remove Jerusalem from the platform, and actually want to remove God from the platform, and they wanted to remove it, and Villaraigosa overrode it and went ahead and passed it, that kind of thing. That's what I see happening in this convention, and I think it might happen multiple times where they're sitting there saying, this has been brought up, because that's what Sanders is going to have. He's going to have leverage to be able to come in and say, I want this added to the platform. And it's got to come before the people, and I think we're going to see more than one time the actual population of the convention wanting to expose the socialistic aspect and go with the democratic socialism ideal, and the leaders kind of somehow trying to override it and make it, or at least lessen the impact somehow.
Well, yeah, and the other thing that's at play is, of course, these super delegates, and I think that's going to animate, because if Hillary ends up today with not enough committed, normal delegates in order to clinch the nomination, and it's the super delegates that put her over the top, as I suspect it might be, then what you're going to see is a very animated group of people that are after those super delegates. Because the way Sanders people look at it, much the same we do with the Republican Party, they're looking at it like, oh, this whole system is rigged. Right. And if the super delegates are what it takes to put her over the top, then I think you're going to see the Sanders people that's going to even animate them even more, I think.
Yeah, I agree, because, people do not want to point out that really over the last, the last 20 primaries, Sanders has a better batting average than Clinton has. and in terms of, I was looking at numbers the other day, he has accumulated 43% of the Democratic vote. That's not a small number. That's an electable number. In a general election, 43% could get you elected.
Yeah, I mean, he, no doubt about it. He wields a lot of power, given the support that he's gotten, the insurgency candidacy that he's run, and that power is not something he's going to walk away from. Yeah. And you can bet that his advisors are trying to figure out, how do we leverage this, because if you're working for Bernie, you're a committed socialist.
Yeah.
So, they're licking their chops. This is their moment. This is the time when when they have to, sort of live this thing that's been percolating underneath the surface for 50, 60 years, and they're not going to let it go.
Yeah, nope. I agree 100%. Joe, you got the last comment here. We got a minute before break. What do you want to say?
I see this happening. What I foresee, I don't see these people coming together to join hands and sing Kumbaya. I see this becoming more contentious as the convention goes on, especially if Bernie gets the delegate count that he'd like to receive in California today. And I see the superdelegate thing going on and on and on. And the number one superdelegate that Hillary wants is sitting in the White House right now, Barack Obama. And so I'll just leave. Hey, we can blame Barack Obama, and we'll go do a break on that one. How's that?
Yeah. Now, when we come back, what I want to get your take on, Don, is Barack Obama, because he's out there on a campaign trail, but he's not out there campaigning for one candidate or the other. He's out there, campaigning for himself, and he's doing it by campaigning against Trump. It's almost like he's running against Trump rather than Hillary Clinton. And I want to get your take on that when we come back. Stay with us. We've got Don Dix from Act for America doing his weekly contribution with us. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go away.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got. Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest. Who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923 and like them on Facebook and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame he owed money to the IRS and they finally caught up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get to Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world, and bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the tax relief line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474.
Okay, hey, we're back. You're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and we have Don Dix doing his weekly contribution with us. Don, Joe wanted to ask, were you running for something out there in your area?
I was, and I guess you could say I still am. We'll know tonight. It's a position on what's called the Republican Central Committee, and that's a county by county building block for the Republican Party here in California. And I think the term is probably similar in other states. But yeah, I was running as a member of the Central Committee in my assembly district. And there's 6 positions. There are 7 people running, so it's a contested election, and it showed up on the ballot. Okay. And I'll know tonight whether or not I am elected to my party's Central Committee here in the county of Riverside.
Okay, and that will be very disheartening if you're number 7, right?
It would be, yes, yes. And it's not a position that you traditionally see people campaigning for. Now, in Orange County, in one of the congressional districts there were 17 people running in one of the counties. And for, I believe in that district, it's 8 positions for the county. And I know some of the people that were running, and they literally ran a campaign. They were doing door-to-door. Because in Orange County, you've got a real struggle between the establishment Republican Party and the let's just call it the people like us, the grassroots. And you're in Orange County, right, John?
Yeah, well, no, I'm in L.A. County, but when we were doing the radio show out of the studio down there in Garden Grove, I had Dean Gross on at the time. I think Dean Gross had run a couple of times for the Central Committee. I think you know who he is. He's the current mayor of Cypress, I believe, right now. But I had him on. I was trying to help him in his campaign. And, I'm very – that is a very influential position down in Orange County, is it not?
Well, it is, and the Central Committee's basic by their bylaws have 3 main functions. The first function is endorsing candidates, and obviously that happens every 2 years. Mm-hmm. And getting the endorsement of the Republican Party means a couple of things. It means money. It means that you have the support, the walking support. It means you can use the Republican logo on your campaign literature, which means a lot to some voters. The second thing, of course, money. The Republican Party Central Committees oftentimes will raise money and then, find ways to use that. And then the last thing that they're involved in is the registration and get out the vote process.
Right.
And
and I just know from my dealings and times hanging around with Deborah Pauley that the Central Committee down in Orange County is a big deal. So lots of luck. I hope you make it.
Well, thank you very much. We've got a lot of important elections that are happening in California besides, obviously, we know the outcome for the Republican Party. And that was really a bummer that Donald Trump did such a job of cleaning out the Republican Party of its candidates, because for once, California had the possibility of being a player in the Republican primary. But as soon as, John and Marco Rubio dropped out of the race, well, at that point, we saw the possibility. People that I've talked to said that that's going to mean a drop of anywhere between 4 to 7% in Republican turnout, which is unfortunate because the other thing we have going on in California is that Barbara Boxer retired.
Right.
And her Senate seat is up for grabs. And, you got two, sort of very popular progressives in Kamala Harris, or Kamala, however you like to pronounce it. And she is, you can tell by what she's been doing. She was one of these, she was one of these that was in support of getting, in fact, one of the states, one of the 16 states that was going to go after climate change denying, businesses. But you can be sure that was just the start. These things don't ever just start and stop with one thing. They were going after the whole climate change denying narrative to prosecute that. And then the other thing that she did was she went after a couple of conservative groups to have them release their, donor list. Americans for Prosperity was at the top of her list. They mounted a legal battle and Kamala Harris lost. And so this is the type of person she is. She's the same kind of person that you've got in Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch at the Department of Justice.
Right.
These people know no limits to their, authoritarian rule if it means advancing the progressive narratives.
Yeah, I've heard Harris described as Barbara Boxer on steroids.
Yeah.
She would take this way beyond, because you're talking about a whole new generation of progressive thought. At least Boxer's kind of, boxed in a little bit in terms of her past history. But you're bringing somebody fresh in here who's had all this the last 20 years coming up through the mentoring process, which is California politics. And just the people they're turning out now, like I said, the Sanchez sisters. And people like this. I mean, these people get in power. Who knows what this is going to look like, in terms of what they're going to try to do. I don't know how successful they'll be. But now, if I can ask you real quick here, just two quick questions here in regard to the California primary. When I went to the poll today, I voted for Ted Cruz because that's the guy I think should have been elected. And I don't really care that Trump won the nomination. I am of the same thought as everybody else. In the general election, I'll vote for Trump. But in the primary election here, I pulled a Mitch McConnell. I threw a vote that wasn't going to matter. And I was wondering, did you do the same thing?
I did. I voted for Ted Cruz. My logic behind that was I don't want the Donald Trump campaign to take, my vote for granted, number one. I think Donald Trump still has a lot of work to do in terms of confirming his conservative bona fides, if they're even there. The first thing. The second thing is, the strategy that he used in trying to knock off the other, Republican candidates during the primaries and the debates was, his rhetoric. And we saw evidence that hasn't necessarily gotten dialed back like his, campaign people had promised. And even I think he said, you're going to see a different Donald Trump when he went after this judge on the Trump University thing. He had every right, I think, to go after him. And it's coming out now that he's probably wasn't too far off the mark. But to say that, here's a Mexican, I understand the sentiment and the context, because of the guy's political involvement, and it's all out there now. But to say, no, the guy is not a Mexican, he is an American, and he got, even Newt Gingrich couldn't, this was a non-defensible thing.
Yeah.
And so, you're already beginning to see, I don't know if he's going to apologize, but you're already starting to see him walk it back in ways. But here he had an opportunity. Hillary Clinton had her foreign policy speech. Barack Obama had his economic speech. You had prime red meat for him to go after. And instead of going after that and having that be in the 24/7 news cycle, what you had was the media beating him up on, everything he's trying to pivot away from the beginning of his campaign. His comments about Mexicans crossing the border and who they are. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll give him the context of what he was trying to say. He wasn't, I think, very articulate, but that was tragic.
Well,
we
were talking about this earlier in the show, and what we came to the conclusion was this is something that is totally irrelevant in the big picture. And it's like, why even bring this up?
Right.
It has no purpose whatsoever outside of soothing his ego, and it just gives fodder to the other side. It's just let it go,
So the question becomes: is he unable to let go of his sort of stream of consciousness rhetoric? Is this a part of what we're going to see over the next couple of months as he starts to do battle directly with Hillary, as he should have been?
Right.
Taking this whole Trump University it was a distraction the left created to make him do exactly what he's doing.
Yep.
Yeah. And like I said, in the big picture here, it really has no bearing. It's not going to turn Trump people off, and it's not going to turn Clinton people on. It's just like you're just doing this because you don't like being told something or something. It's kind of like, let it go. He should have handled it the same way when he was asked for his tax returns. I'm under audit right now. I'm not showing anything. I'm under litigation right now. I'm not saying anything, and let it go. I wanted to, and then the other guy I wanted to ask you about here. I wanted to ask you about Tom Del Beccaro, and we'll do that here. We got to take a quick break. Because this guy, if we have a conservative that can possibly overtake Harris or Sanchez, this might be the guy. So let's take a quick break here. We'll be right back with Don Dick. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
All right, hey, we're back. You're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. Want to remind you, visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. You can pick up this show, any of our shows, any of our archives, find out anything you want to know that's relevant to what we do here at the Conservative Syndicate. That's theconservativesyndicate.net. Okay, we're speaking with Don Dix right now, doing his weekly contribution here in the show. And I got to tell you, Don, I initially was not so intrigued with the candidate out there, Tom Del Beccaro. But the more I started researching on him, this guy, pretty solid dude, pretty solid conservative, and even has a little bit of a Marco Rubio-ish look to him, does he not?
Let's see, Marco Rubio-ish look to him. No, I don't see it.
Well, I think so. He's got a little bit of his hair is a little bit longer than Marco, he's got that same kind of demeanor. It seems like the same kind of, almost the same kind of appearance. I could probably put their pictures together, and if I was a liberal, I wouldn't know one from the other.
If you're talking about physical appearance, I thought you were talking about political look.
No, I'm just talking about. I'm actually talking about physical appearance.
Yeah. Yeah, if I had to squint real hard, my cataracts were in full bloom, maybe.
But in terms of his actual ideology, this is about as solid a conservative as we've seen in quite a while.
I think, that I will 100% agree with you. And the question comes back to two. First of all, there's as a conservative, do I vote my values and do I vote for what I feel is a true conservative? Or do I vote to, who can win against, Kamala Harris or whoever the person is? Mm-hmm. I got to say that possibly, if you want to track marginal Republicans from the center of the political spectrum, perhaps, maybe Duff Sunheim is the guy that's going to do that because he's more liberal socially. He presents, I think, a little better from the microphone than Tom does. But to your point about his, platform, his economic policy, his tax policy, he had endorsements from, Larry Kudlow, Stephen Moore, national security. He had some great endorsements from, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, and there's a whole cast of people there. So, yeah, Tom Del Beccaro, if you want to vote, your conservative values was the guy to vote for. And, at some point we got to make a decision. Are we going to vote for people that we think can win? Or are we going to vote for people that will be standard bearers for the conservative platform?
Yeah, let me interrupt you with that, Don, because that is something that Joe and I have been talking about forever. And it just seems recently that we're actually starting to hear this from many other quote-unquote Republicans, because for the most part, especially here in California, I think you'd agree, for the longest time, it's been about who's the most electable, not about whether or not there are principles behind them. And I think Jeb Bush proved, if nothing else, that doesn't work. And that if you're just going to go for somebody that you think is the most electable, that's not going to pan out. And I think Trump even proves that. On the surface, this is the least electable guy outside of Lindsey Graham, and and yet here he is right now. I think one of the things that I was kind of interested in or attracted to with Del Beccaro is the fact that he actually headed up the California Republican Party for a couple of years. He took a couple of hits. He was during a time when the Republican Party was really struggling for identity. and he survived that. I got to give him that. That's points on my board.
Yeah, and his tenure, and the stuff that was going on during Tom Del Beccaro's leadership became a little bit of the subject matter for this election, because there are party influencers and party money that really put Tom Del Beccaro between a rock and a hard place, because Tom was promised certain things based on, and he was, there's a track record for the way things unfold during a presidential cycle. Typically, state level parties can, and that's the way it's worked in California, go into debt trying to get their candidates elected. There were promises of money that got reneged on, and so it made it look like Tom left the party in debt. And, so you really got to get inside when these things make for great mailers, these talking points about track record. But when you get inside and see exactly what happened, I mean, Tom Del Beccaro is one of the only Republicans that's running a fiscally responsible campaign. He's not in debt. He's not overspent. He hasn't borrowed from himself to run his campaign like one of his competitors has done. So, he's got a good track record. One of the other things about the other individual, speaking of Duff Sunheim, the other prominent competitor in the Republican ticket for the Senate seat here in California, Duff Sunheim was a staunch backer in 2010 of what's called Prop 14. Now, what that did in California was it created what's called an open top two primary, where out of the primary, when I got my ballot today, I could have voted for Loretta Sanchez, or I could have voted for Kamala Harris. I could vote for Democrats. So it created this, open sort of aspect to this election. But here's the thing: it's the top two vote getters that end up going to the general. Right. So if you've got two strong Democrats in a race, like as in U.S. Senate replacing Barbara Boxer, the top two vote getters go, not a Democrat and a Republican, the top Republican and the top Democrat. So the struggle here is, as the Democrats did, and they were a lot smarter than the Republicans, they ran two and only two strong Democratic candidates, which, yes, it splits the vote for the Democrats, but on the Republican side, you had like a jungle primary. You had a bunch of people running. Right. In fact, in the whole race, there were 134 people registered to run. Only 34, I think, got posted to the ballot. Mm-hmm. So when you walk in and vote, you've got to pick from two columns, 34, which is confusing because some people voted for one from each column. It's what it kind of looked like. Right. But so Duff Sunheim was a strong proponent of the top two back in 2010. And at a town hall, he said, I still believe that that's the way we should have gone. I'm a supporter. And even though it will hurt me in this election, I still support it. Bizarre.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope that the people that voted for one in each column were liberals. And
well, let's hope. Yes.
And that'll work to our advantage. We're out of time, Don. I want to give just a moment. Go ahead and plug what it is you're doing out there.
Well, we have a daily radio show that airs on a Salem station out here that carries Rush, a new talk show host, Larry Elder, great guy, and our show, the Jen and Don Show, and that can be heard in the Inland Empire, but also you can listen to it online at the am590.info website. And then I also lead a chapter of Act for America, which is an organization that's focused on national security and getting the message out about the threat of political and radical Islam, the cultural jihad that's taking place in our country. And if you want more information, you can go to actforamerica.org and learn more about that. We got a brand new website. Go check it out.
Okay, yeah, and we have the link on our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. Go down the bottom of the homepage where it says resources. We got a link that'll take you right there, Act for America. Thanks so much, Don. Appreciate it.
Appreciate what you guys do. Thanks for having me.
Okay, guys, we're coming up to the end of the show here. As we get ready to close today, I wanted to introduce you to something that you'll probably start hearing more and more on this show, at least for the next few weeks. And when you hear it, I just don't want anybody to lose their mind over it and think that they've gone crazy. Okay, hang on one second.
If we fall for a bunch of okey doke,
we're introducing our latest clip here, the hokey doke clip. Okay,
okey doke,
okey doke. Okay, so whenever we're talking about something that's distracting, that's what hokey doke is looking, getting you to. It's the shiny object that we so often refer to on this show. So whenever we're in a conversation with somebody and we detect hokey doke, that's what we're going to play. So you'll know that's your signal to take in stock what's being said. Okay, all right, guys. We'll be back tomorrow, of course, same time, 3:00 out here in the West Coast, 6:00 on the East Coast, and prime time everywhere in the world right now, somewhere. The Conservative Syndicate. Remember to visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. We love you guys. Thank you for your loyalty, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all of our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's the conservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best and uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, signing off until next time, right here on the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.